I'm Morgan, and today I'm going to read you the part of Paul Bunyan where he ends up immigrating to America. The more Paul Bunyan thought about real America, and the real America is capitalized, the better he liked the idea of going there. Moose and grass, at least, were to be found across the border, and no doubt real America was his land of opportunity. So one fine day, Paul Bunyan and Bebe came down to the border. The blue ox-calf frolicked with his master and bellowed happily when he saw the green grass and clover on the hills of real America. He was for rushing over at once, but Paul Bunyan, the student, was not unmindful of his duty to his new country. He would not enter it without fitting ceremonies and pledges, though Bebe butted him soundly and resented the delay. Now Paul Bunyan lifted his hands solemnly and spoke in the rightful language of real America. And becoming a real American, I become Paul Bunyan, he declared. I am Paul Bunyan no more. Even so shall my blue ox-calf be called Babe, and Bebe no longer. We are now real Americans both, hearts, souls, and hinds. After uttering these words with feeling and solemnity, an emotion more expansive, more uplifting, and more inspiring than any he had ever known possessed Paul Bunyan and transfigured him. His chest swelled, his eyes danced and glittered, and his cheeks shone rosily through the black curls of his beard. And I'm glad of it, he roared, by the holy old Mackinaw, and by the hell-jumping, high-tailed, fuzzy-eared, whistling old Jim Chris, and 17 slippery saints, I'm proud of it too, gloriously proud. Then he felt amazed beyond words that a simple fact of entering real America and becoming a real American could make him feel so exalted, so pure, so noble, so good, and so indomitable conquering spirit had come to him also. He now felt that he could whip his weight in wildcats, that he could pull the clouds out of the sky, or chew up stones, or tell the whole world anything. Since becoming a real American, roared Paul Bunyan, I can look any man straight in the eye and tell him to go to hell. If I could meet a man of my own size, I'd prove this instantly. We may find such a man and celebrate our naturalization in a real American manner. We shall see. Yea, babe. And then the two great real Americans leaped over the border. Freedom and inspiration and uplift were in the very air of this country, and Babe and Paul Bunyan got more noble feelings in every breath. They were greatly exhilarated physically at first, and they galloped over valleys and hills without looking about them, but only breathing the soul-flushing air and roaring and bellowing their delight in it. But before the day was over, Paul Bunyan discovered that real America had its sober, matter-of-fact side also. A whisper stirred in his heart. To work! Take advantage of your opportunity! The whisper got louder and more insistent every moment, and at last the idea it spoke possessed Paul Bunyan, and he sat down to ponder it, letting Babe graze and roll on the clover-covered hills. And I thought this chapter was interesting because first of all, because it considers Canada to not be like real America, and the idea that all you have to do to become an American is just like declare yourself American and speak English and change your name to be English. I think it shows a lot about like is this what the attitudes of the time period were, and it's kind of in a sense like idyllic or very romanticized, I think, and going back to the idea of it's harkening back to an earlier, more simple time. It's like nowadays, if you want to come to America, like there's so many hurdles that someone has to stop over. And so it's cool to look at this and think, oh, is this what an idealized past could have been like, while also realizing that it's fictional. And I think it's really funny how it's like, they don't consider like Canada to be real America. It's wild. I think it shows some of the attitudes of the era, like did Canada and America used to not really get along or something. So I thought it was just really, really interesting to show, I guess, some of the ideas of what people romanticized the 1800s to be like in the early 20th century. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this excerpt, and I hope you're having a great day. Bye!